Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome to another flight in the iniBuilds Airbus A300 Enhanced in Flight Simulator 2024. Today we're flying from Cologne to Stuttgart on a quick FedEx charter service, so join me in the cockpit, where it's certainly going to be a little bit more quiet than it was right out here. Now, the cargo area is rather large on this one, but this, contrary to the other freighter we've flown the other day, is actually a purpose-built freighter. So for that reason it is a little bit more spacey over here, and the entire space is used a little bit better. Alright then, follow me into the cockpit and we are gonna take a seat in the captain's seat today. Now, a small trick over here, I will turn the dome light on already, so that when I'm turning on the batteries now, we actually get our flight deck to light up straight away. Small little trick that comes in really handy. Alright, with that out of the way, we do the quick safety checks down here. Start levers are off, parking brake is set, and then moving up, the oil quantities are checked and our ignition is off, wipers are off, battery voltage is already checked right up here. Alright then, so with those basics out of the way, let's go ahead and start to align our IRSs, which are going to take a couple of minutes, like that, and then turn on the lights so that when our colleague goes out for the walk around, she can actually see something. Alright then, that much for the basics. Let's finish with the cockpit setup. So we'll turn on the main panel lights on the left side and also on the right hand side, pretty much like that. Perfect, so alignment is on the way. Then we can have a quick look into our flight plan to decide on the fuel quantity that we want to take this evening. And this is our plan: FedEx 162 from Cologne to Stuttgart. Now, this is only a 150 nautical mile route, so flight level 230 is going to be our cruise level. And looking into the route itself, it looks rather weird, but that kind of tells you that it's actually a valid route. There's nothing on the significant weather charts, and looking into the actual weather, Cologne is showing Kavak and Stuttgart is showing Kavak. Our alternate Frankfurt is also showing Kavak. So with all of that out of the way, we can make an easy fuel decision over here. They want us to go basically with 10 tons. If we make that 11 just to have a little bit of safety margin there, then we should be absolutely good to go, as I'm not expecting any kinds of extensive traffic or anything the likes today. So importing the flight from SimBrief, and then we can go over into the weight and balance menu, where we are going to load up the aero parts transport, which is actually the racing team charter. My apologies for that one. And the fuel quantity today, what are you doing? Here we go, that's better. It's gonna be 11 tons. Pretty much like this. So apply load to aircraft, and that's it. So that's our aircraft load completed. They are running the real-time refueling at the moment, which is excellent, and that's it. So then, the next thing for us to check is the operating fluids. So let's start down here on our ECAM on the engine page, making sure we have sufficient oil quantity on board. Then we can have a look at the hydraulic fluid reservoirs up here, which are showing good as well. And then going over to the other end side, let's also check the APU, which is not entirely full, but full enough for our flight today. Alright then, back to the captain's seat. And then we can start with our basic setup. So just a quick check up here to make sure that I did turn on the real weather, which of course I forgot. Here we go, that's better. I knew there was something to check. Alright, and then we can already go into the overhead panel, where we can do the rest of our aircraft. So the lights are on. Down here we can already turn everything on but the pitch trim. Most importantly, turn on the galley power, as that one is going to power the coffee machine. Alright, fire loop test. Looking good. Script test, looking good. And then we can continue down here. Refueling is in progress, so we are going to keep the pumps all off. Then we do the APU fire test. Looking good, and the script test, and then we continue on the third side up here. We can already turn on the window heaters, but we'll keep off the probe heat for now, and then we continue with another fire loop test. And that's looking good. Alright then, script test, also looking good. And then we continue on the right hand side, annunciator light test, where we verify that all the lights on our flight deck are working. Make sure the emergency exit lights are armed. Standby compass lights can come on. Not that we really need it today. Okay, and everything else on the right hand side up here is set. The oxygen is turned on. And then we can already move down to the main panel. Now, before we go to that, let's quickly head right back into the My Flight app and update our METAR. So Cologne 06083, slightly variable, Carbok 3 degrees, QNH 1023. So let's go ahead and set that. 1023 is set on both sides. Then we can align the standby. Like that, and 1023 on the standby altimeter as well. So landing field elevation in Stuttgart is roughly 1,000 feet. And then going down here, there's not really all that much for us to set. TCAS can already go onto above. We'll keep everything on the panels down here on the radios as they are right now. Weather radar a couple of degrees up. And then 1 to 1.5 on COM2. And we verify that we're actually listening to it as well. So, pretty much like that. Okay then, basics out of the way, let's start with our FMS setup. For that, let's grab the SimBrief dispatch, so that we get the flight plan right on screen, and then we can start with our setup. So going from Echo Delta Kilo to Echo Delta Delta Sierra. Our alternate today is going to be Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. The position is checked, so the IRS can be aligned. Cost index 30, cruise flight level 230, and the flight ID is going to be the FedEx 162. Okay, then average wind 191 at 19. And then we can continue via the flight plan page. We are departing Cologne off runway 13 left, and we have the Kumik to Quebec departure planned. We'll see what they're actually going to give us, but for the time being we just take what they have. So then we continue via Lima 603 towards Bombi. And then November 850 Karlsruhe. Here we go, and then we continue via Tango 128 towards Batzo. And last but not least, in Stuttgart they are probably landing runway 07. We don't have any stars in the database unfortunately, so we'll just keep it the way it is right now. And then we'll have to type the entire rest manually later on. In case we need to do an immediate return, we can come back towards Cologne, which we can simply select up here, and then into the secondary flight plan, Cologne, star. We'll pick the ILS approach runway 13 left, no star, no transition, and insert. And that's it. Alright then, onto the init page and the next page. Estimated zero fuel weight is 106 tons, and the estimated block fuel 11 tons gives us a takeoff weight of 116.4, a little bit more than what is predicted in the flight plan. That's of course because we took a little bit of extra fuel there. And the taxi fuel 0.8. We don't have any predictions down here yet. Fine for me for now. Alright, last but not least, let's go over onto the takeoff page and do the takeoff calculations. So, takeoff, Cologne, 13 left, synchronize, and we do We will shorten it a little bit, so 3,600 meters for us, so that we're able to take the Alpha 5 intersection. We'll leave everything else, air conditioning, and tell you what, let's actually do pack-off takeoff, because we didn't do that in a long time in this aircraft. So flex 65, 155, 163, 163. 155, 163, and we'll have to wait with the rest until the IRS alignment is completed, so we gotta give it a little time. Alright then, we can check how long it's gonna take though. If we go up here onto status, 4 minutes remaining for the alignment. That's perfectly fine, so we do have plenty of time available. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's start having a look into a couple of the local airport charts. What is it doing here? No, don't open any links, just keep it where it is, please. Not sure why this is in Dubai. So, Echo Delta Delta Kilo, Cologne. And here we go, ground chart and parking chart cargo. And then we need the departures of 13 left. And I guess it's gonna be the first chart. Probably not an RMP chart, but it may really turn out either way. Yeah, this one's basically exactly it. Alright, so that's the one we are going to pin. Perfect, then let's cross-check the validity of our departure in the FMS. So we proceed via Kumik departure. Even though the Quebec is actually not on here. Might be the 8 Foxtrot that we'll get. I tell you what, let's actually find out which SID they're going to give us by calling up for our clearance. So, ATIS 132130.
Zulu. Automated weather message runway 14 right / 14 left renamed to 13 right / 13 left. Report old map data on initial contact. Expect vectoring for ILS approach. Runway 13 left or 24. Runways in use 13 left, 13 right and 24. Transition level 60. Wind 060 degrees 3 knots. Variable between 040 and 120 degrees. Kev OK. Temperature 3, dew point -2. QNH 1023. Trend, no zig. When passing 2,000 feet, contact long and radar on. 135.350. Cologne Bond information mic. Out.
Okay, so we do have information mic on board.
Cologne Bond information mic. Sunset everyone. Met report time.
Alright, so far so good. Then let's go ahead and call for our clearance. Cologne Ground, guten Abend. FedEx 162 Heavy Information Mic. Request clearance to Stuttgart.
FedEx 162 Heavy, hallo, your clear to Stuttgart via Kumik 2 Quebec departure, flight and route, climb via city to 5,000 feet, score 1,000.
FedEx 162 is cleared to Stuttgart, Kumik 2 Quebec departure, flight plan route, climb via SID 5,000 feet, score 1,000.
Yoke 1 Alpha contact line radar 135, decimetry 50, good.
Contact radar on 135, decimetry 50, Yoke 1 Alpha, tschüss, wir haben noch bei.
Danke, gleichfalls.
FedEx 162 cleared to Stuttgart, Kumik 2 Quebec departure, flight plan route, climb via SID 5,000, score 1,000.
FedEx 162, read back, correct, startup is approved.
Startup approved, FedEx 162. Okay, so Kumik to Quebec is confirmed, then we go up to 5,000, and since the IRS alignment has finished, we can turn on the pitch trim up there, and that also brings our FCU to life, so 5,000 going into here, and the squawk 1,000 going into here as well. Okay, perfect. So, then we do need to change the SID chart. So, it's got to be this one then. Not many other options left. And indeed, Kumik to Quebec is right on here.
Mike requesting Alpha to Denver, please.
Alright, so straight at Delta Kilo 920 above 1120, Delta Kilo 921 above 1640, max 205 knots, Delta Kilo 922 above 3000, and then via Kola to Kumik. I'm gonna ignore that little 2.1 DME RF lag down there, because I don't think our aircraft is actually capable of RF. But I'll just ignore that in order to save myself the discussion with the VATSIM controllers. Making life a little bit easier.
Set approved, Romeo.
Alright, so... then, let's see, we had 163 knots V2. Like that. So, refueling is also completed now. Pumps are going on, and APU master switch on and starter switch on. So, the APU is starting, and now the SID is checked, everything is checked, so I suggest we go ahead with the departure briefing. Okay, departing Cologne, 13 left, Kumik to Quebec departure, initial climb 5000, passing 2000, contact 13535, and what are we doing? MSA 3800, extra fuel, 1000 kilos, which gives us about 10 minutes. No threats for the taxi. Stop margin is more than enough. Do we actually have a stop margin on here? I don't think so, huh? No, we don't. Okay. Well, that's fine. So stop margin is more than enough. Engine outset straight at 6 DME, then left turn to Wipper, climbing 4000, MSA 3800. We don't need a cold temperature correction. We do have positive temps today. We are below the max landing weight, so we can come back for an immediate re-landing should it become necessary, and Cologne is the best option in the area. Düsseldorf, Frankfurt are all available in case Cologne is closed for whatever reason. In terms of specials, I have our initial speed restriction of 205 knots that we gotta abide, so we gotta keep the flaps, or rather the slats extended. We can only retract the flaps there. Gotta keep the flaps gotta keep the slats until passing the first turn. And that's it. Any questions? Threats? No? Alright. Excellent. So then let's have a look into the load sheet. In the meantime, GSX, prepare for pushback and departure. Handling by Cologne Airport Ground Services. What did I click away this time? Nothing important, okay. Alright, zero fuel weight is 111.0 and the CG is 29.3. So, 111, that's actually 5 tons heavier than the flight plan. But we do have 1,000 kilos more. 1,000 kilos more fuel, that should be sufficient. Technically speaking, we would need a new flight plan over here. And the CG 29.3. So 29.3. Okay, optimum 360, cruising 230, that's all fine with me. We do have an hour and 23 extra fuel down here, even though that doesn't... Okay, now it's 37 minutes. Doesn't include the arrival, but I'm kind of happy with it the way it is now. It's fine. So takeoff gross weight 121.2. Let's cross-check that against our calculator. 122.2. Alright, that's good enough. We can keep those numbers. So flex temperature is 65. Here we go, 65, then 163, and pre-select 205. Here we go. Perfect. So that's everything we need. What's it doing with the heading bug? I just wanted to dial up the runway heading. 136, here we are. APU is available. APU bleed on. The external power is disconnected so they can pull the plugs. No, not you, but you. Okay, remove chocks, remove covers, and remove the ground power unit, please. I don't know why I can't arm the doors. Doesn't make much sense to me, but yeah. We'll just accept it that way. Alright, so pretty much everything is set. Then let's do the before start checklist down to the line, please. cockpit preparation completed. Signs on and auto. Fuel quantity. So we have 11 tons. Navigation checked and set. Landing elevation 1000 set. Altimeters. QNH 1023 reading 250. Set left, set right. Brake any skid. Normal on. Before start checklist complete down to the line. Okay. How far is GSX? They seem ready. Very good. FedEx 162 request pushback.
FedEx 162 pushback approved facing northwest.
Pushback approved facing northwest, FedEx 162. Alright, northwest means nose to the right. B4 start checklist below the line. Windows and doors. Closed. Beacon on. Parking brake set. B4 start checklist complete. Ground flight deck. Go ahead. Pushback approved facing northwest. Parking brake set. Roger. Northwest, that means nose right. Release parking brake, please. Parking brake released. Thank you. Start and push, and you're clear to start the engines at your discretion.
5 Romeo is ready for taxi.
Thank you very much.
Section
Starting
5
at our
Romeo,
discretion.
I can offer you runway 13 right for departure if you want.
I'll start by 1 minute.
Okay. So he's cleared us for engine start. The red line is just over here and the road, so we'll just about wait until we have passed that before commencing engine start. Ground flight deck, go ahead. Start sequence will be 1, then 2, and we're starting engine 1 now. Roger, clear 1. Engine 1 start.
Section 5 Romeo, ready to copy in the clearance.
Ready to copy 5 Romeo.
You are here cleared.
Engine 1, FedEx channel A fault. ProArt on. Okay, ProArt on.
Rear cleared, port 7 Echo out of runway 13 right, western change, fashion 5 Romeo.
Okay, clear engine 1.
Romeo, report ready.
Clear engine 1.
That's Squawk 2071.
Alright, so we do have over 20% already. Fuel on.
Squawk 2071 and we are ready for taxi, fashion 5 Romeo.
Section 5 Romeo, Roger, taxi holding point on 13 right via Tango and Bravo.
Holding point 13 right via Tango and Bravo, Fraction 5 Romeo.
And we have a good start in engine number 1, starting engine number 2. Clear 2. Engine 2 start. And 2. Oil pressure. And 1. %. Fuel is coming on. Okay, pushback complete, set brakes. Parking brake set, please remove the tuck tow bar bypass pin and advise when cleared. Roger. Okay, number 2 is running up nicely. Could already have armed the nav mode for departure. Alright, we have 2 good engine starts. Clear to disconnect, show me the pin on the left, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye! Alright, we don't need anti-ice for this one.
Fraction 5 Romeo, contact Langrider 135 350 distance information. He will be
Okay.
so
Looking good.
Alles klar, danke. 135 350, Fraction 5 Romeo.
So, what's the ground crew doing? There's the tuck dragging the tow bar along. There's the ramp agent holding a pin in the hands. That's looking wonderful. Alright, clear signal received after start checklist. Pitch trim. That's actually a fair point. Let's see, 0.1 down. Oh, that was a bit fast. Here we go, that should be roughly it, right? No. There you go, 0.1 down. Okay, rudder trim, 0, spoilers armed, slats and flaps, 15, ecam status checked, anti-ice off, hand signal received after start checklist complete. Flight control check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. And neutral. FedEx 162, request taxi.
FedEx 162, taxi holding point runway 13 left via Alpha F5.
Taxi holding point 13 left, Alpha 5, FedEx 162. Alright, Alpha straight ahead, Alpha 5 is the first to the right, so it was a good idea that we did calculate the intersection. Well, and then... Park and brake released, let's go! Brake check, pressure 0. And I have no changes to the briefing. Nope, nothing.
FedEx 162, contact line glider 135, Business Takeoff 0 to the mother.
135, 350, FedEx 162, Dankeschön, tschüss.
Tschüss.
Long radar, good armed, FedEx 162, heavy taxiing holding point Alpha 5. We call you when we are ready.
FedEx 162, long radar, hello, roger.
So we just gotta wait for the oil temperatures to warm up. Alright, that stop bar down here is the Cat 2 holding point. We are going to the Cat 1 holding point, so we shall not worry about that just yet. Let's try another test. Okay. FedEx 162 ready.
FedEx 162, roger, line up runway 13 left.
Line up 13 left, FedEx 162.
Approaching 13 left.
Okay, cabin prepare for departure. Not that we'd actually have any. Okay, air bleed valve 1 fault.
Long radar, hello, identified, information mic, report.
I think I probably pressed the incorrect button there.
That is a 110.
Let's see, pack valves off, bleed valves on.
259 was identified, route like runway 13 left to 24 for arrival.
Okay, before takeoff checklist. Flight controls, checked, briefing, confirmed, slats and flaps, 15. Performance is checked, takeoff config checked, transponder set, before takeoff checklist complete down to the line, and before takeoff checklist below the line. Cabin secure, TCAS,
Section 5 Romeo identified.
TARA, packs, off, ignition, off, anti-ice, off, before takeoff checklist complete.
FedEx 162, wind 060 degrees, 3 knots, runway 13 left, cleared for takeoff.
FedEx 162, runway 13 left, cleared for takeoff. Okay. Ready?
Section 5 Romeo, when passing
Takeoff.
level 60, proceed direct Pedo.
Second the waypoint for 5 Romeo, please.
Pedon.
So, somewhere down here is the click spot.
Passing flight level 60, direct tail on fraction 5 Romeo.
Here it is. So, thrust SRS heading. $80 knots. Checked. V1. Rotate. Positive climb, gear up, thrust, checked, and nav. So a little bit of trim. Here we go. Profile thrust, profile climb, flaps 1. Or rather flap 0. Speed check.
Flight level 1405, fraction 5.
So we are going to keep the slats extended.
Passing 2200 feet, climb flight level 100.
FedEx 162, climb flight level 100. Command 1, 10,000 blue. Checked. Alright, so pack 1 on.
Fraction 5 Romeo, proceed direct.
And pack 2 on.
Direct Warburg, fraction 5 Romeo.
And once we're clear of the 205 knot restriction, then we can retract our flaps. But gotta wait for that one. So the engine is running climb thrust already, so we can reset the chrono down here. Set standard.
Fraction 5 Romeo, manage Unicom 122 destination, I'm gonna close it.
Standard cost check, passing flight level 52 now.
Unicom, fraction 5 Romeo, thank
Check.
you, bye bye.
Okay.
Flight
Flap 0.
passing flight level 60, direct Kumek.
Out of flight level 60, direct Comic, FedEx 162. So that's basically now.
125 turn left heading 270.
Comic. And after takeoff climb checklist. Slats and flaps, retracted, landing gear up and neutral, packs on, altimeters, standard, passing flight level 72 now. After takeoff climb checklist complete. Oop, a little bit of lag over here. Well, my friends, with that we've already made it up into the air. Do have 2,000 to go over here, so let's reduce our vertical speed a bit. Well then, let's fast forward this a little bit into the approach to Stuttgart, and then I see you all over there.
FedEx 162, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1021.
FedEx 162, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1021. Set, flight level 50 blue, set QNH. QNH 1021 cross check, passing 11,000 now. Checked. Well, my friends, and here we are, approaching Stuttgart. So let's go over the details here real quick. Now, as you know, Stuttgart is missing the nav data, or rather the FMS data in Flight Simulator 2024. So what I've done is I have simply programmed the arrival...
QNH 1021.
FedEx 162, descend 5,000, QNH 1021. He did say that already. Alright, so what I've done is I have simply programmed the final approach fix, FARTOP, at 4,000 feet, 180 knots, and that's basically going to lead us down. So, we do have the ILS frequency 109.5 in here. The final approach course 072 is also selected down here. And the minimum of today's approach is right over here, 1470 for our aircraft. And that's selected right up here as well. Alright, and that's everything we need. So auto brake's low, and now we're passing 10,000, so signs are going on, the lights are going on. Then we have constraints and an ILS. Pretty much like that. And last but not least, let's go down onto the progress page where we can check that we have GPS primary with a high accuracy and the engine start selector is in off. Alright, and that's pretty much everything we needed down here, so let's continue with the approach checklist, please. Signs on, briefing confirmed, econ status checked, altimeters QNH 1021, minimums 1470, ignition off, landing elevation, let's just recheck that, 1300 actually. Alright, so landing elevation 1300 set, approach checklist complete. Well, and that's it. So let's turn the dome light back off again. Something that iniBuilds did really nice is the glare of the light that's emitted from the main panel over here on the overhead panel and on the aft wall of the cockpit. That just looks really, really good. That way we can actually see everything, even with the dome light turned
FedEx
off.
162, descend 4,000 feet.
FedEx 162, descend 4,000 feet. Alright, so next up is probably going to be TAL 118805. So let's pre-select him. Alright, so speed target is going down, and I tell you what, let's go to level change over here. Let's start to reduce towards 180 knots for the base turn. Here we go. So, pretty much exactly on the glide slope. 13 DME out, that makes sense. FATA is at 10 DME, so 13 seems just
FedEx
about fine.
162, are you below the glide?
FedEx 162, we're exactly on the glide.
Roger. FedEx 162, turn left heading 100, cleared ILS runway 07.
Left heading 100, cleared ILS 07, FedEx 162. Okay. Cat 3, dual, glide slope localizer blue. So, speed is coming back really nicely, we're exactly on the glide slope, very nice vector onto the final, establishing us just about at the final approach phase. What else can you ask for? Very nice. So, flaps 15. Speed checked.
Langenräder, einen schönen guten Abend.
Vertical speed. Let's make sure that we do keep following that glide. Block star.
Airback 26, Juliet, Langen, hallo.
And flaps 15. Speed checked. Alright, there's our runway. I can see that we're on the poppy, 2 whites, 2 reds. FedEx 162 established.
FedEx 162, wind 060 degrees, 2 knots, runway 07, clear to land.
Runway 07, clear to land, FedEx 162. Okay, slight tailwind component at the moment, but it is going to turn around into a headwind, so I'm not too worried about our speed right now. We do have the trend vector pointing down, so that's quite good. Alright, gear down. Let's see, final approach speed, we approach 129. Let's add 5 knots of wind correction for that, so that's going to give us 134. Like that. Okay, flaps 20. Speed checked. And flaps 40. Speed checked. Flaps 40. Landing checklist. Landing gear, down 3 greens. Auto brakes, low. Anti-skid, checked. Slats flaps, 30 and 40. Spoilers, armed. Landing checklist complete. Alright then. Autopilot disconnect. Let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun. Come on. Here we go. Silence. Something that I like about the geometry of the A300 cockpit is that you can see my yoke movement at the bottom of the screen. So you can see how I'm handling the yoke, since a lot of flight simmers have that tendency to completely overdo it and just do inputs that are much, much too strong. Checked.
Approaching 07.
Checked. Land. That's interesting, it went out of land mode again. Land. There it is again. So you can see, really minimal input on the yoke is all you need in order to get your aircraft to keep going where you want it to go. Minimum, continue.
100. 60, 30, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Spoilers, reverse green, decel.
$1,500 meters remaining.
70 knots. Manual brakes.
1,200 remaining.
Since there is nobody behind us, I will vacate onto the 90-degree exit over here. Saves us a bit of taxi time.
Juliet, fly present heading.
Present heading and they're succeeded.
And the Vec 262 descend for 6,000 feet. QNH 1021.
Then 6,000 QNH 1021 and they're succeeded.
Alright, and with that, welcome to Stuttgart. FedEx 162 vacating.
FedEx 162, taxi second left via November. Contact count 118.605. Tschüss.
Second left on November 118.605, FedEx 162. Schönes Wochenende. Tschüss. Alright, so second left 118.605. I will just complete that turn before calling him, just because when I call he's going to give me a taxi instruction, but I would have to write that one down, and I prefer to have the aircraft in a straight line before doing that. Stuttgart ground, schönen guten Abend. FedEx 162 Heavy on November.
FedEx 162, taxi via November, Oscar, hold short of Zulu.
November, Oscar, hold short, Zulu, FedEx 162. Okay. So, quick check of where exactly that is. We're probably parking in the south today, so I expect that we are eventually going to... Okay, we don't cross the runway, but we taxi behind it. So November, Oscar, and then hold short Zulu, which is right at the very end. Okay. So let's bring it back up to 30 knots. And then we can do the after landing items. Okay, after landing checklist. Slats and flaps, retracting, transponder, XPDR, weather radar off, spoilers disarmed, APU to go. After landing checklist complete. So then, all the way to the end, and then we are going to taxi in front of the runway threshold via Zulu down here to the cargo apron. Even though it might probably have been quicker if we just crossed the runway in Kilo, but I guess the apron controller wants to avoid having to hand me back to the tower controller, and that way just handing me over and over and over again, and he just wants to keep me for himself, let's call it that way. Without any pun intended, that is. So, 30 knots, thrust idle, aircraft taxi's pretty nice like that. Man, it's a little laggy over here, but look at how cool that looks. I really like it. The A300 is a very nice aircraft. So, slightly left, and since there is simply nobody anywhere, I'm gonna cut this short a little bit so that I don't have to slow all the way down, just to accelerate again thereafter. That's one of the nice things about an empty airport. You basically don't have to worry about these kind of things. Let's call it that way. It's a bad word to pronounce. Okay, so we're in Oscar now, approaching Zulu. Waiting for a crossing clearance, since we are basically... FedEx 125.050, FedEx 162 ist reicht. Lang hallo, FedEx 162 on Oscar Short Zulu.
FedEx 162, Langen hallo, taxi position 101 via Zulu.
101 via Zulu, FedEx 162. Jetzt dann aber schönes Wochenende. Okay, so we are clear to taxi via Zulu. That means we are clear to cross the approach as well.
America 26 Julius, turn right heading 040, cleared ILS, runway 07.
040 cleared ILS 07 in that 26 Julius.
So, position 101. Let's get the parking chart. Is right over here at the beginning of the cargo building. We will be able to find that one. So, GSX. No. No GSX. Restart Throttle. So 19 knots, the turn isn't that tight, I'm gonna keep that speed. Alright, first of all we have the military apron complex here. And then thereafter the civil complex. Let's give GSX another try.
26 Juliet, wind variable 1 knot,
Nope, it's bugged. Okay. Alright, start APU. So, position 101 should be somewhere in front of that building over here, if we have a look at the chart again. So that's the cargo building, 101 should be in the middle over here. So, now comes my classical A300 problem, that I just can't see all that much from the typical seating position. So that's position 100. And this is 101. Perfect. So, lights off. And here we go, onto the dashed line. Oh, that was weird. Weird camera movement. Here we go. Okay, I think we are roughly here. So, park and brake set, APU running, APU bleed on, and engines off. Okay, both engines running down, so signs coming off, storm light on, and the engines are basically shut down. Beacon light off, we'll keep one fuel pump for the APU. And here we are. So, parking checklist please. APU bleed on, engines off, differential pressure 0, lights and signs are set. Okay, fuel pumps off, window and probe heat off, park and brake and trucks. We have the brakes set. Parking checklist complete. So then, transponder 2000 and standby. Let's see about our engine. Fuel used is basically 2 tons on each side. Let's see how much we were supposed to use. So, view flight plan, and we were supposed to use basically 4 tons. So, fuel usage quite accurate for the flight. And with that, all I can say is that I hope you guys had a lot of fun flying this one. Give me your feedback in the comments below. Let me know which other aircraft and routes you'd like me to fly, as always. And if you have any kind of different feedback, be sure to put it into the comments below. For the time being, thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on the channel, I would appreciate a small donation with the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.